Okay. Yeah, we're giving our talk on persistence. We thought that we would start off with this because as kids, we are all told about this book. At least I was. I had the privilege of reading this book or having it read to me. And the essence of the title and the idea here is that effort and persistence is the idea behind the little engine. But instead, right after childhood, we grow up and we're slammed with all these failures. And that's kind of what starts to overtake us is we're always being told by every person, you can't do this, you can't do that. And we lose this little engine that could mindset. And we thought that this quote really showed that. And it's success is stumbling from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. So don't worry about the actual failure. Stay persistent in your attitude. That's really what's going to make you prevail.
So Lincoln, if you guys don't know, Lincoln failed in business. We all know his successes, but some of his failures. Failed in business, lost 8 elections, lost a fiance, lost a sister and a mother at a young age, and basically, obviously, never gave up and ended up saving our union, or helping to save our union. Thomas Edison, same thing, told he was slow in school, failed multiple businesses, mining, failed in motion pictures, which was funny because all the things he failed in ended up concrete, ended up being big at one time, but failed in multiple businesses, went on, obviously, huge success, and when they asked him about his failures with the light bulb, he said, I didn't fail, I just found 10,000 ways that didn't work.
On this theme of people, if you guys are getting the underlying tone here, is all these people in their younger years. This is Walt Disney, and the theme, of course, persistency. Walt Disney got fired from the newspaper company that he was working for being, he was told that he had a lack of creativity, which we all laugh at because it's Walt Disney. He is creativity. Michael Jordan, we know what happened, the famous Michael Jordan story, cut from the basketball team in high school, ended up being the greatest basketball player, still to this day is the greatest basketball player. I just want to make that clear. So, here's Jeremy.
Okay, another familiar one, Napoleon, taker of countries. One of the most common causes of failures is the habit of quitting when one is overtaken by temporary defeat. So he never saw anything as a failure, really only temporary till he succeeded. And obviously he succeeded greatly and obviously failed greatly, but to Napoleon that was just the next step. So don't give up. Another thing Napoleon was quoted as saying was that persistence, oftentimes the greatest successes of a great person comes after their greatest failure. So right after their greatest failure comes their greatest success. So if that doesn't show you persistence,
then we don't know what does. We just thought, going along with that, this was an amazing quote. Great spirits have often encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. So if you're not persistent in your beliefs, and you're not persistent in your idea, and you're not persistent in your mindset, you're going to not ever get to that breaking point that all these people that we just showed you got to, because you're going to encounter all these people who aren't as persistent as you, and they might not believe in what you believe in, so they're going to tell you, no, you can't do that. And we're here to remind you to ignore them and be persistent. The fastest way to improving yourself is with persistence. So there's really no other way to get to the finish line of whatever you're getting to unless you're persistent. The other option is giving up. That's not really an option.
And so, following great people who've done pretty incredible things. Babe Ruth in baseball is still one of the greatest baseball players to ever play. And he just said it's hard to be the person who never gives up. So if you never have the idea that you're ever going to give up, you can't be beaten. I'd say you die trying.
Persistence is a mindset, right?
And so if we talk about persistence, let's talk about persistence in nature. In the confrontation between the rock and the stream always wins, but it's not because obviously the stream is strong, but because it's persistent. The Grand Canyon, obviously, everyone knows, was carved from the Colorado River, and it's pretty amazing what persistence can do in nature.
So, a quick action plan. We didn't want to just give you guys a dozen different quotes, but there's more quotes, so don't worry. Set goals, get motivated, accept that you're going to fail, and keep moving. Okay? The essence of persistence.
And so, the impossible, basically, don't ever even say it. Nothing's impossible. I think we've seen, if you ask someone 50 years ago what was possible today, they had no idea. If you ask them 100 years ago, no idea. We thought everything we have today would have been seen as impossible 100 years ago. So never think the impossible. Always think the impossible is possible.
I think a cool new thing that, I don't know, this might not be new at all, but people are taking it and saying, I'm possible. So that's kind of a different way to look at it. Persistence. So this is, in our own personal lives, thank you. In our own personal lives, we've been told no hundreds of times. Jeremy and I have had to walk into people's offices. We have had to go to extreme lengths of persistence, and I think that's what Dan has seen over the past year. But if you're not staying persistent in what you're trying to accomplish, then those people who didn't communicate with you, or they told you no, or they told you it's not a good idea, they actually end up winning in a way because you've given up. So sometimes persistence means not giving a crap, because there's little kids. And this is just big for persistence in general, because when you're being persistent, you are going to be uncomfortable. At some point in your life, you are going to get out of your comfort zone if you are persistent enough. Yeah, and awkward. That was a great talk. But you need to get out of your comfort zone because that's what grows you as a person, and you need to be persistent with it because you're going to be uncomfortable at the beginning.
And so just leaving you guys, remember, you don't have to succeed every time, you just have to succeed your last time. And that's all that matters. And so we just want to leave you guys, it's an action every day, be persistent. Every day.
Everyone hot now.